So this is the owl card of the Halloween Oracle, and it is Wise Seeing, Wise Action. The other card I'll be showing in this video is Scrying, and which stands for Intuition. So in this card we see a large white and brown spotted owl flying against the moon. The top half of the moon is very light and the bottom half of the moon is very dark. And then we see some owl's eyes up above it. Owls sort of represent wisdom and hidden knowledge. And then the moon, again, the moon shows up in almost every card here, I think. To me, it cycles, especially with the top and the bottom half being different colors, the different phases of the moon. And I guess the moon sort of stands for hidden knowledge as well. The owl's eyes, I think, are representative of their insight or their wisdom. But what it's making me think of right now is that there's been, I think it's a barn owl that's been hanging around, and it's anywhere from about I hear it off and on all night, but it wakes me up. It sits on the roof above my window and wakes me up somewhere between 3 and 5 o'clock in the morning. First time I heard it, it did not sound like an owl. But then I had a hunch that it was an owl, so I looked it up on YouTube and it sounded very much like a barn owl. It does not sound like it sounded more like screaming than anything. It was not the gentle hooting, it was like screaming almost. Anyways, that's what it's making me think of. It's also sort of making me think of having a lookout for early problems or even problem cycles. Or maybe what knowledge are you hiding from somebody? Or maybe nighttime, is it your time to get things done? I know it's my time to get things done. Or maybe what knowledge is being offered to you, except maybe through unconventional ways. What's going on around you that you could gain some wisdom from. Anyways, let's see what the book has to say. So it's Owl, Wise Seeing, Wise Action, and the little poem is silent, winged, and wise, all-seeing creature of the night, show me the way, I will follow you in flight. Owls have for thousands of years been part of folklore and have been considered a special or sacred animal. With their huge forward-facing eyes and otherworldly appearance, they have been seen as both wise and harbingers of the supernatural. There are many hundreds of species of owls and almost all are nocturnal and carnivorous. Interestingly, they all have especially designed feathers that enable them to fly silently at night, giving them an incredible hunting advantage, sort of like having stealth mode. Many deities were said to be able to change into owls, and perhaps the most famous was the Greek goddess Athena, who was famous for her strategy and intelligence. To this very day, the capital of Greece, Athens, has Athena's owl as its symbol. Should the hooting owl come looking for you this Halloween, it indicates the need for wise counsel or further information before you make a decision. Considered action is warranted. Think before you act emotionally, and ensure you think strategically, not impulsively. So this is neat. Definitely is good to think over something before you jump into it, so that's a good card for that. So let's see what the other card has to say. So the next card is the Scrying card, which is Intuition. So in this card we see a crystal ball on like a brass or something stand, sitting on top of a pentacle. I'm not sure if it's just paper or if it's something else. We also see a bone in front of it, some crystals right around here, some candles in the background. And in the ball itself, in the background you can sort of see maybe some red fabric is hanging and maybe that's what's reflecting around here. But it also sort of looks like there's some sort of figure in there. And it looks like you're seeing a light or wood beams at the top and some other sort of wispy sort of imagery in there, nothing totally solid. So crystal balls, they automatically make me think of fortune telling and gypsies, but also more seriously a little bit more of a window or possibly even a gateway sometimes. The pentacle, I see it as protection, representation of the 5 elements, and power and magic. The bone, I know bones can be used as divination. I've never used them for that before, but I know that they can be used for that. And then crystals, I see them as with power or energy work, also sort of as helpers, so that's sort of how I see those. It's about scrying, but also intuition, so it's kind of inspiring me to get into the deck more. So what are you looking for that you need help with? What questions do you have? And to sort of dig deeper into your subconscious to figure out what truth is there. So let's see what the book has to say. So scrying and its intuition, and the little poem is: soften your eyes, begin the trance. Whole worlds are opened, begin the dance. Scrying is a divination technique of seeing unconscious images, or images from the divine or supernatural, appear upon or within a surface. People scry into crystal balls, a black mirror, water, or even surfaces of ice. It is a very ancient technique and one traditionally enacted on Samhain or Halloween. The keys to efficient scrying are being as relaxed as possible, minimizing possible distractions, softening your gaze, and allowing. The enemy of effective scrying is distraction, both from inside and out. Turn off the phone, electric lights anywhere you can see them, any music, and if you are scrying outdoors, take the time to settle into the environment and listen to all the noises so that your mind will not need to break your focus later. If you regularly meditate, you may wish to use those techniques, or otherwise you can simply shut your eyes and focus on slowing your breath. This is usually very effective. If you have a specific question for the scrying medium, state it up front. Then, once you feel relaxed, turn your focus inward. Imagine pulling your energy within you, and then focus on the third eye point, the chakra point on the center of the forehead, just above the eyebrows. And imagine opening it. Then gaze in a soft, unfocused way at your scrying surface and simply allow images to form and observe what presents itself to you. Do not engage your rational mind. This is about receiving, not thinking. Should you pull the scrying card, I suggest you try it for starters. It also indicates that you may wish to develop your intuition further and not rely solely on the logical part of your mind for all the answers. True wisdom takes a balance of logic and imagination and an intuition for true wisdom. So yeah, that's kind of neat. It gave a whole little example of instructions of how to scry. I've tried it a few times. I used to have a black dish. I don't know where my black dish went. I bet you it's downstairs somewhere, but I used to have a black dish that I would fill with water and use.